Hello, guys. So, for those that don't know, I made this channel to document my wealth growth, and I wanted to inspire others along the way to establish their wealth and get financially literate because the only way to buy your time back in this life is to have enough money to do so, to be financially free, right? And there's more to wealth than just money. I think another big component of wealth is knowledge. So, today I want to show you guys five books that I'm either already finished reading or I am currently reading. And I think this year I have a goal for reading 15 books because there's something super calming about reading a book. And then I feel it improves your communication skills because you get exposed to a new word set, new ideas, and you can influence and articulate those ideas into your conversations with your friends and others and people you just meet. So, the first book I'm going to start on is the one that I'm actually currently reading. I'm currently reading this book. It's 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. Now, I've seen a lot of clips of Jordan Peterson, and he's always stuck out to me as being able to articulate himself very well. His vocabulary is like really good, and he always has ways to describe what he wants to put into words, which I think is super helpful. But this book is as it says, 12 Rules for Life. It's kind of a way to help yourself and find peace in life, right? And there's a couple of key concepts so far that have stood out to me. The first one is to stand up straight with your shoulders back. And the idea that he makes into this is that by having proper posture, you're accepting the challenges that life's going to throw at you and you're ready to take them on. And it also allows you to have confidence in what you're doing. And if you keep your posture low, it makes you perceived as weaker. It's like he gives this whole example about lobsters where the stronger lobster, if he thinks he's stronger, he'll have more power over you. And a lot of it's just about having your posture upright so you look like you have confidence and that you're willing to take steps and be actionable. So it's kind of a fake it till you make it scenario. And then next one again that really stood out to me is to fix yourself before fixing the world. And the way he talks about this is that you should focus on getting all your things in life sought out, like fixed through. Whether it's like something as simple as cleaning your room, if you're having like a disconnection with your family, you should talk it out with them because it'll help clear your conscience. And then when you have cleaned all these small issues out of your life, you'll realize how much simpler and easier it is to be able to focus 100% of your mind onto those bigger problems over those things you want to create and do for the world. And my final point that I want to talk about in this book is to pursue meaning over happiness. And he talks about delaying gratification and how we slowly stumbled on the line, delaying gratification through our ancestors and how important this is because it teaches you to be disciplined and to have responsibility by realizing that you should sacrifice now to be guaranteed a better future tomorrow. You're building this mindset, which is super important when it comes to stuff like at the gym, building wealth, any of those things where you have to make the harder choice today to reap the benefits tomorrow. Now, to move on to our second book, we have How to Win Friends and Influence People. Right? This book is by Dale Carnegie and it really focuses on social skills, communication, and networking. And there's a couple of really key concepts. I'll try to be a little faster on this one. One is just listening to a person. Everyone loves to talk about themselves, whether you know it or not. So just being an active listener that can show interest in what the person is saying will help you like establish that connection and they'll feel like you're trustworthy and you actually care about them. And next, this is one thing that I was really bad with and I still need to improve on is remembering people's names. We've all been there where someone comes up to us that we remember them from somewhere but we don't remember their names. Remembering someone's name, it helps establish a bond between y'all because it makes them feel like they're valued, like the impact that they've had on your life is significant enough for you to be able to recall their name actively. And you don't want to even think about it from your perspective. You wouldn't want people to be calling you, but like, hey, you, like you'd want them to refer to you by your name because that's what we grow up with. to be referred to by our names. Next is the value of compliments and appreciation. Dale talks a lot about being to not be hesitant about showing appreciation to others, to be thankful, to show gratitude, to give a kudos or kudos is due, right? By doing this, you make people feel valued for doing the good things in life. You make them feel as, they're good enough, or like you're building this relationship through this praise and the strengthening the bond because you're reinforcing them, and it makes them want to keep doing better and improving. And that's very important, especially like even when it comes to kids, it's super important to reinforce proper behavior. And then one really important thing, especially because I'm going into sales, that he talks about is how to persuade others. And the way he talks about this is that you shouldn't even mention the benefits and the things that you get out of it. Your whole goal in persuasion should be, how can I solve a problem for this person? What desires of theirs can I play into to persuade them, right? You want to provide as much value and do as much for this person as possible without making it seem like you're trying to get something out of it. Because when you give effortlessly, eventually like it will all come back to you. Now, the next book on our list is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So this book was super interesting to me because I'm really into financial literacy. And there's, like I said, more to wealth than just money. Your mindset is like probably one of your best wealth building tools. Now, what this book talks about, it really focuses on setting like a clear financial goal. It has a whole chapter that focuses on making like a kind of like a contract with yourself. I actually have in my journal, I have two of these contracts now, one for 2024, one for 2025, where it's you set out what you want to achieve, but it's not just about idolizing and what goals you want to achieve. It's about what are you willing to sacrifice, how much time, what effort are you willing to put in, and then how are you going to achieve these goals. You have to break down the steps, and by setting this financial goal with like a contract with yourself, it allows you to visualize getting there through the process. It allows you to see the steps that you need to take to progress to make it towards that goal. And it also talks about the power of auto-suggestion. So it says that you should read this contract every day, every night. By keeping your mind constantly working on this, you'll be working on your goal even throughout your sleep. You'll be problem solving. You'll be coming up with new ideas, ways that you can creatively make steps towards that goal. And it also thinks talks a lot about being positive, being optimistic, right? When you think that you will be successful, you will become successful. By keeping a positive mindset, it attracts positive things to you. So by seeing, let's say for example, this month my net worth went down because the market is going down. If you get stuck in that rut where thinking like everything is doomed and there's no way to get back out of it and to make progress, then that's just where you're gonna attract. But if you're super optimistic about the future and you're like, yeah, I believe that I'm gonna put in this effort, I'm gonna work hard, I have my goal set out, I have the vision and I'm hungry to achieve it, the success will come because you're attracting it, you want it. Another super important idea is the mastermind group. This is basically surrounding yourself with a group of people who push you and propel you forward. It's about having a group who have skill sets where y'all can mutually benefit each other, where your skills can help them and their skills can help you, and that they'll push you to chase your goals and be ambitious. And when I think of this makes me think that it's really important to control your inner circle because you are a summary of the 5 closest people to you. So if you hang around people who all they want to do is go out, drink, and do all other activities that are horrible for you, that's what you're going to find yourself doing. But if you surround yourself with someone or with people who are ambitious and have goals and drive and things they want to do, and they're putting in the hard work and they're being disciplined and sacrificing now, that's what you're going to do, and you're going to reap the results of that hard work. And then finally, the last super important concept of this book is to essentially never give up, to be persistent. Because even I listened to a podcast recently that talks about it. Every single year, additionally, that you're doing something, the probability of you failing decrease. And a lot of people give up before they get past that plateau, before they start seeing the progress. Like you give up right before things take off. Things take time and consistency. Like going to the gym, you might not see results for 60, 90 days. It depends on how you train, how much you eat, and your calorie intake and all that. but result takes time. And those massive gains, those goals you want to set, let's say you want to have like six pack abs and be jacked. This isn't a goal that you achieve in a short time. This will take you maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years, depending on where you start from. Let's say you want to build a YouTube channel. This could take you 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 10 years. Even with the podcast, with anything that's worth doing, it will take time. But that's what the meaning is. It's in showing up consistently over time, learning, improving, and building your knowledge base so you can become better. The next book on our list is The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. So this book talks about how epidemics start, and not necessarily just like virus epidemics. It could be like ideas, products, or even trends, and how like they gain popularity and then fade away. Like what causes them to suddenly break out and be really big. So there's a couple of really important concepts. One of them is the law of the few. So it's saying that we essentially have a few people who are trendsetters for all of us. They influence us because they're really influential and they change the market. The example the book gives is Hush Puppies, the shoe. It was like dying. The company was dying. Like it didn't have many sales. It was not fashionable. No one wanted it. But it got pushed and it became super trendy by a couple of kids who were like into fashion. They thought the shoes were cool, so they started wearing them, and they were the right people who were influential enough to influence the peers around them to start wearing the shoe, and the shoe started blowing up and their revenue exploded. Next is the stickiness factor, which is that some ideas stick to your head better and are simply more effective at spreading. Like you could have two very similar ideas, but the way you present them with what concepts around them will change how easily they stick to a person. An example he gives is that before we had the Cookie Monster, they tried making the show with humans, but since it's a children's show, the humans didn't entertain the kids the way like the Muppets or whatever, the puppets, whatever they're called, entertain the kid. They were able to attract their attention and keep it because it was a lot stickier seeing like a Muppet talking about the things that they were talking about than just an adult, because they see adults anyways. Next is the power of context, which is kind of like what I was mentioning earlier. It's what's around your idea shapes the success as much as the amount of effort you put into it. Because you can put 100% of effort into an idea, but if it's not articulated in a good way and there's not a good way of pushing it, then it's not going to do well. The example the book gives is how this company did an advertisement study where they were advertising a product, and all they changed was they put a golden box around the buy now or around the phone number that people needed to contact to get the product, and revenue instantly like skyrocketed. So it's that little golden box that little change, small change, that created the scale for the product to start exploding. And then next, and again a super important social book, is Surrounded by Idiots. My friend actually got me this one, and as I was reading this book, I realized that I saw a lot of the things this book talked about in myself and my family. And what this book talks about, I know it sounds a little insulting for those around me, but this book actually talks about how the reason you perceive people as stupid sometimes, it's not because people are stupid, it's just because you don't understand them. You don't understand that there's like different types of people and that each person has a different form of communicating. You can't talk and communicate by the same step-by-step process to each individual person, because the book says there's 4 personality types. There's red, blues, greens, and yellows. So reds are like dominant leaders and direct. They're like really aggressive and they're really attracted to fast progress, right? They're goal-oriented, confident, and blunt. Blue are like analytical, precise, and super focused on details. They're logical and skeptical. They're gonna doubt you unless it's proven, right? Green are supportive, loyal, and patient. So greens are what most people are, and they like to stay in one place. They don't like change. They're super resistant to change. They like things to stay constant. So there be people who are like scared to do new things, to step out of their comfort zone. And yellow is social, energetic, and creative people. So these 4 personalities mix and match like really well. There's some compatibilities and stuff like that. But the really important concept is that you should communicate differently with each type of person. You can't communicate the same with the red, because the red is super hot-headed essentially, and y'all can like really escalate the conversation and be driven to go do something, but it's not the same with the blue person. The blue person is going to want to go through every single detail and want to understand the full game plan before you do anything. And the book argues that this is why misunderstandings happen, is because people don't realize that not everyone is like them, so they don't know how to get information from the dialogues that they have and how they need to provide information to the person they're speaking with, so there's mutual understanding and effective communication. And it also talks about how there's different ways to handle each personality based on, what they're feeling. If they're sad, if they're mad, how do you handle them? Because obviously someone who's short tempered is different to handle than someone who holds it all in and releases a big blast of like negative emotions. So overall, I think these books have really provided me a base to understand a lot more. Even though I definitely plan on rereading these books again, like next month, I plan on rereading Think and Grow Rich because I want to, again, deepen my mindset and make it more valuable. But these books have allowed me to start gathering knowledge not only on how to be more effective at communicating with others, how to understand people, how to build those bonds and connections. It also allows me to learn about how to live a better, more fulfilled life where I'm improving myself, I'm improving my mindset. And by improving my mindset and my relationships with others, I will indirectly improve my wealth and make progress in this journey of being financially free eventually. And there's no better way to do it because knowledge is a part of your wealth. Whether you want to admit it or not, there's value in reading books. If you could listen to music every day, you could watch YouTube videos every day, but you're not going to gain the same amount of information and knowledge out of it as you can from reading books or listening to podcasts. So it's up to you to get educated and to keep staying hungry. There's just one saying or quote that I am thinking of. It's saying that essentially you're a lifelong learner. You should never want to give up on learning. There's so much to learn out there and so much value to be derived from it that you should always be seeking to be learning something and improving on stuff. But yeah, like I said, these were 5 books that have made an impact in my life, and again, I plan on rereading these books and so on. So if you have any book suggestions, please feel free to comment them down below in the comments. And yeah, let me know if you get any of these books, if you like them, or any other thoughts that you had about anything I talked about. Thank you very much. You have a great day. Take care.